Hello everyone, welcome to Getting Started with Angular course. In this chapter, we will be looking at Angular prerequisites. Let's begin. What are the prerequisites you should know before starting Angular? You should have a basic idea of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and TypeScript. Let's understand the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript meaning in layman terms. Think of car manufacturing process. Before car gets manufactured, it has to gone through several processes. Over here, you can think of HTML as a raw sketch of car, where you don't see any intuitive part, just there are lines which are describing it is car. So as soon as you add color, you join all the part and make it more intuitive, that's where it looks good and attract the customer to buy it. So in this case, CSS means you applied a cosmetic part over it to make it look more beautiful. But with HTML and CSS, you will find all the things static. That means you cannot do any dynamic behavior with this car. If you want to do that, what you have to do is you have to add engine into the car, then steering, then the clutches. By using the combination of this, you can handle the car and it can move or stop. This dynamic part is nothing but a JavaScript. So this is what the basic understanding about HTML, CSS, JavaScript in layman terms. Now we will understand HTML, CSS and JavaScript in more technical way. HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. If you look at the HTML, you will see that it looks kind of similar to XML, but there are some terminology it varies with. So let's look at it. A node start can be termed as element or tag. Over here it's HTML head, meta, title, body, h1p are tags. If there is any more content present on the tag, then it is called as attribute. So over here, charset is an attribute and UTF-8 is a value of attribute. If you are finding any text that is inside a tag, it is called as element text. When elements start, it close. But before closing it, you have to mention /. Let's look at cascading style sheets. Basically, you will be writing some rule based on a selectors. And we will see what are the selector in a moment. So when you want to apply a CSS to element, you will be mentioning the element tag or element name and then the rule. You can see that on right hand side we have a body and it has a div content. So all the background of body will change to red. If you want to apply CSS to ID is equal to container, then just mention hash ID name. Over here we mentioned hash container. And whatever element matches that rule, it will change the color to background blue. If you want to apply a CSS rule based on class name, then just mention a dot and then class name. In this case, the background will appear yellow for the div with the class field. And if you want to query a DOM based on attribute value, in this case, we want to change the border radius of input box of type text, then we have to say that the input is the element tag and then type is attribute and text is a value. So by this way, whichever input box is of type text, border radius will be changed to 5 pixels. This is how you can apply CSS. Now understand most interesting part, which is JavaScript. To have a look at it, we will take an example. Suppose you have a div which have a ID is equal to container and having some content inside it. You have applied some CSS rule to make it beautiful. And after this, you will see the content square in blue color. Now I give you a task. On click of this content element, it should change its color to red. So this way of dynamism can be achieved by using JavaScript. So what we have to do is we have to get a grab of a content div and then we will be putting a click event on that content div, and as soon as it is clicked, we will be changing the background of the div. If you look at this code, we are basically getting hold of a div with the ID container. Then we just say document.getElement by ID container. And then we are attaching a click event on that DOM just by saving add event listener click. The first parameter is what type of event it is. And the second parameter is a callback function. Inside callback function, we are just making a change into the background of the DOM. You will see that when I click on content element, it changes its color. So that's what the JavaScript dynamic behavior. In next chapter, we will be covering TypeScript. And if you want to go further and read about HTML, JavaScript, CSS, you can refer to developer.mozilla.org site. Thank you for listening. See you soon in next chapter.